The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of our Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. Alright. So recently, I posted a video about like the day Kickin It died, and there's a point in it that I made about how people could sit and say that the show died when they wrote off the black character, but it didn't die there because that show put very, very little care into Eddie. It is actually really sad, and I want to sit and talk about this because this is anti-black, whether people want to admit it or not. Hey y'all, it's Harriana and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and welcome back to The Pirate Ship, also known as Harry Hook's Pirate Ship. I'm the captain, you are not my first mate. I don't got no first mate because you want to know why. Bring your ear closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly. Nobody's worthy of being the first mate. But hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and I like to make content based on nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. Now, today's episode of Disney-cember. Disney-cember is a series that I do every year on my channel during the month of December, where I just sit and talk about things relating to the Disney company. And this Disney-cember has been very funny because we've been talking a bit about Disney XD. I did not think we were going to be talking about Disney XD that much, but there's a few more Disney XD things that we're going to be talking about. And yeah, by the way, I got the idea from Doug Walker. I make sure to credit that a lot more now because I just want to make that a little bit clear that I have been very, very open about how I got that from him. I wrote like an entire blog post about it on my website. But Disney XD, I've talked about in the past how this network has a big issue when it comes to two factors, and that has to be anti-blackness and misogyny. And within the series Kickin It, which was their highest rated series that I recently found that out. I really thought that the highest rated show was Parrot Kings, but it was actually Kickin It. But I honestly think part of the reason it wasn't Parrot Kings was because of the entire situation with Mitchell Musso, and then that last season just being straight ass. Like, it's actually very unwatchable. But moving forward, we have Kickin It, and in the first two seasons there's this cast of characters, and one of those characters is a black kid named Eddie, and Eddie just kind of like mysteriously leaves. Like, he just leaves and the show just like carries on as if he's not there. And I find that so sad, but also a bit disturbing. But it also just goes to show you how this show truly did treat Eddie like a diversity quota. I'm not even trying to be funny when I say that, because he was the show's token black. And that's it. That was his only purpose of being there. He was just there to make it seem like this entire city that the show was set in. And I'm not sure, but people were saying that the show was set like in Northern California, but honestly, that was shit that we were saying in the fandom back in the day, that it was set in Northern California. If we ever find out where Kickin It actually sets in, that literally will confirm so much for me, okay? Well, we don't know, but it said that the show was be set in Northern California, and I always just ran with that because that's what we said, you know, back in the day, in the fandom days when the fandom was active and the episodes were coming out. By the way, for those of you guys who don't know, I was a hardcore Kickin It stan growing up. I'm like high-key embarrassed about it right now. But yeah, that's a fun fact about me. But when we watch Kickin It, we can sit and see that like it kind of does take place in a predominantly white city, but then also it's not predominantly white because we've seen so many people of color come in within and out this series. But there's only, I'd say, one that was a part of the main cast, and two if we are being specific, because Mateo Aries, he is Latino. He is Latino. That is correct. So there were, and the thing about, okay, Mateo was, you know, mixed, white passing. Y'all know how it is. Okay, so we have two minorities that were a part of the main cast. So Jerry was the character played by Mateo Arias, and Jerry was honestly way more of a priority to the series as a whole over Eddie. Because Eddie, honestly, go ahead and call it out. Kickin It is a series that's about a whole bunch of outcasts. They literally are at one of the worst dojos over, I'd say, like in the state and where they're at. They're not in a good dojo. We have this colorful cast of characters where it's just, we have Jack, who's the cool one of the group. We have Jerry, who is the one that thinks he's cool, but he's actually a fucking dweeb. And then we have Kim, who's just like the girl character. Then we have Milton, who's just like the nerd. And the next thing you know, we have Eddie. And Eddie's like written off as like, oh, the other nerd, but no, the black one. That's what he is. Eddie's literally the black friend. Go read The Black Friend by Z-Way, by the way, if you haven't yet. Eddie's literally just the black friend. And it's sad because he has to be one of the most uninteresting characters within this entire series. One of y'all in the comments made a very good point about how, you know, first of all, Kickin It is a show that has a lot of issues with race in general, but there is this one character in the series called Falafel Phil, who is a man of color, and he runs this like shop that sells like falafel balls and whatnot. This is me talking. This show dead ass did the black community dirty with Eddie's character, because Y is a side character, much more memorable and had way more depth to his character than one of the maids. And that just irritates me because I remember Boo Boo Stewart was in the series too, and his character was written way much better than Eddie's character, period. And Eddie was in the show way longer than Boo Boo Stewart's character. And like so many of these other characters within these series that keep coming in and out, they were very interesting, very fucking colorful and whatnot. And they had way more depth and character development than Eddie ever did. He was just boring. He was just boring. Like, he was my representation for the show because he was mainly the only black main character there. But when he left the series, you know how a lot of people say that a show technically dies when a character gets written off, or they bring like a new person in and the thing like changes up and whatnot. Nothing literally changed about this show, but as I mentioned, that how the series treated him as if he didn't matter. I remember particularly that Eddie chose to leave. His actor chose to leave at the end of season 2, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because a lot of people choose to leave TV shows because they have other opportunities that they want to endeavor on in their life. A lot of people leave TV shows because they want to go pursue education, or they feel like them working in film is like hindering their education. I understand it. I completely get it. There's numerous reasons why actors choose to leave, and there's nothing wrong with that. But he chose to leave the series, and it felt as if Eddie didn't even necessarily get like a proper farewell, because Kim got that shit. This show adored Kim, okay? This show kissed Kim's ass, everything about her, because Kim was part of the reason for why the show had such higher viewership. People like me, a lot of people usually don't tend to watch a lot of shows that they don't see a character in there that they can identify with. And I could relate a lot to like Kim's character. She was my favorite part of this series, and she was a lot of other people's favorite part of the series just as well. Because in the fandom, a lot of us were really mainly there for Kim, and a lot of us was there for her relationship with Jack and whatnot. This show kissed Kim's ass so bad because Kim always had the best episodes. Kim always had the best outfits. Kim literally had the best fucking everything here. The wardrobe budget went to her because everybody else would be over here wearing the same fucking variation of the same outfit in every episode, and Kim would be coming in there looking new and fresh every day like she just got a new outfit from the mall. This show literally worshipped Kim. They literally worshipped Kim. She ended up getting a proper farewell, and then there was a point where she made like a guest appearance in the last season where she came back. Eddie didn't get that shit. Eddie didn't get nothing. Like, this show literally treated Eddie like it was just like the last resort. He was literally their last choice, their last option. Because like I said, Eddie didn't necessarily have anything interesting towards him. He didn't have good outfits for the most part. His outfits were pretty fucking boring. His storylines were pretty dull. Usually we just see him on the side with Milton or Jerry, and then his interactions with Jack were just kind of dry and It's very, very sad to see. It is so fucking sad to see. And I remember when we would go back and watch like the cast interviews with everybody from Kickin It, Eddie would be there, and the next thing you know, once they started doing season 3 after Eddie's departure, everything just like was like, okay, He gone. We don't really care. Let's just keep going on about it. Because they was doing photo shoots and everything without his character. It felt like nothing changed. And that really, really freaking bothers me. And the reason it bothers me so much is because it just goes to show you where this show's priorities were. And it was mainly the main light brights and the main little white passing one. It was mainly them. Those were the series' priorities. And I'd say that this show did a lot when it came to showing Asian heritage, as the entirety of this show surrounded karate, which isn't a bad thing. It's a good thing that we had a show that focuses on that. But also, this show's anti-blackness is not going to go unchecked. And also, this show was offensive when it came to Asian culture too, just as well. Because they got a whole yellow face situation going on here with Bobby Wasabi. That man that they said that Bobby Wasabi, he's supposed to be Asian, that is a white man. That is a white man. This isn't a yellow face situation. Kickin It by any means is not a perfect show. Yes, I could sit here and talk about how Kickin It was one of my favorite shows growing up. I adored it. I loved it. Is it perfect? Hell no. Does the show have issues with race? Plenty. Does the show have problems with misogyny? Of course. Like any other show that was on Disney XD at the time period. But when y'all actually brought up to me in the comment section of the video I made about Kickin It dying when Kim left, it just made me a little irritated because it made me come to the realization that Eddie was never really a priority for this series. And I understand that shows have their characters that are more important than others. I get that. I understand that, especially like when you have like an ensemble cast. There are going to be characters that get more attention than others. There are characters that are going to be more better written than others. But the reason it gets so frustrating when we're talking about Disney series overall is because a lot of these characters that are the last priority are often of color, and it's frustrating. Okay, I'm gonna end this video right here. I didn't want to spend particularly long about this. I might make a video about Kickin It again next year, mainly because of how special this show was to me growing up during my teen years especially. But it's just so much with this show, and I have so much to say about it because I really do want to sit and talk about how Kickin It treats women, but that is not something I'm going to be able to handle during Disney December. I'm just going to be completely honest, mainly because I have a few longer videos coming for this year's Disney December, and they're about Gravity Falls, they're about The Princess and the Frog, and they're about Big City Greens. That long ass deep dive video about the misogyny in the world of Kickin It, it's gonna have to be handled another day. Honestly, we can just sit and talk about the misogyny issue with Disney XD period, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this here. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will make sure I be getting you guys' Black Friday orders out as soon as I can. I'm working as fast as I can. It was just like I got on a lot of them, and I'm very thankful and appreciative of all of them. Don't forget to follow me on everything at Hariana, H-A-R-I-A-A. Cosplay content is all on my Instagram. All that good shit is over there. I do try to make sure I post a lot more of my cosplay content on my community tab because you guys really, really like that. I have so many fun cosplays coming up next year, but I still have some pretty good ones coming for the rest of this year too. Like, cosplay is something that makes me deeply happy. And yeah, I need to do a Kickin It cosplay because like I said, Kim's outfits were giving. Oh, I'm gonna give. By the way, if you're watching this video and you were a fan of Kickin It, comment down below what Kim outfit you want me to cosplay. Because I'll do it for y'all. I will. Because I've been wanting to do more Disney Channel-ish cosplays. Because I notice when people do Disney cosplays, they mainly just kind of like do like the characters from the Walt Disney Pictures films. And I'm like, no, I want to go to the campy section. I want to do the Disney Channel cosplays. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. And have a great day, night, whatever time of the day you chose to watch this video. I'm just thankful that you watched it with the ads on. Alright, thank you. Goodbye.